Hello everyone. Am I audible? Hello. 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 Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Am I audible? Hello. 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 Are you people listening me? Hello.
Yes, ma'am. You are audible, ma'am.
Okay. I think here network issue is there, so I'm not able to connect properly. It is like again and again I am losing the network. So now am I audible, right? Okay, so now I am audible.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So today I'm thinking to take, I'm thinking to ask some general questions because here network is not there and already half an hour we lost. So I'm thinking to ask some general questions from X-ray crystallography. So like general discussion, like general interactions, as these are interactive sections only. So I'm thinking to interact with you people by asking some general questions. So, if you people know, can you please unmute your mic and answer me? Have you people submitted the last assignment?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, as this course is X-ray crystallography and diffraction, so this course is basically upon crystals. So, can someone tell what is crystal? What is actually a crystal, or what is crystal lattice? What is a lattice?
Lattice is a three-dimensional arrangement of lattice points in the space.
Yeah, lattice is a three-dimensional arrangement of lattice points. And what is the speciality between this lattice? It would be better if you will tell like lattice is the three-dimensional and periodic arrangement because each atom will repeat itself, right? So it is a periodic arrangement of
Yes, ma'am.
atoms. Yeah, so this is the lattice in which the atom will repeat itself to form a crystal lattice. So in a lattice, there is like what is unit cell? Shall I point out someone's name? Then only you will unmute your mic. These are general basic questions, right? Mayank, as I am seeing, only Rami Reddy is answering. Mayank, can you unmute your mic? What is unit cell? Chandrasekhar? You people can type if some network issue or is there, or you can like then you can. I asked from Mayank and he has left the meeting, and I asked very general question like what is unit cell and he has left the meeting. Chandrasekhar, you can write in the text box if you don't want to, like if you are in a space like where you can't unmute your mic, then you can write in the chat box or text box. I will see your answers. Rami Reddy, you only tell then what is unit cell?
It is the smallest representing unit, which represents the entire symmetry of a crystal.
Yeah, so that unit cell is the smallest unit of full lattice, which will repeat itself to form a full lattice, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So how many crystal system we are having in that X-ray?
7, ma'am.
Seven crystal system, and these crystal systems are like classified on the basis of cell parameters like A, B, C, alpha, beta, and gamma. So can you tell which crystal system we are having? Do you know the name?
Yes, ma'am. Cubic, tetragonal, orthorhombic, rhombohedral, hexagonal, monoclinic, and triclinic.
Yeah, that's right. So I think only you are reading, no other. Actually, if you people will not speak, then there is no benefit to take this class. Now you have to speak. These are like interactive sessions only. If we will discuss more, then we will learn more. And if you people will not unmute your mic or you will not tell anything, then there is no purpose of taking this class. Okay, fine. So, how many previous lattices we have?
14, ma'am.
14, yeah. So, uh, 14 previous lattices, on what basis they have divided as like 14 previous lattices? Like it can be either face centered, body centered, edge center, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So you people will be able to calculate the like contribution per unit self of each atom, right? So this you can calculate like the corner atom will be sharing 1 by 8, and the atom which is present in the body, it will share as contribution 1. This you know, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And in the last lectures that maybe you have learned about that stereographic projections, point groups, space groups,
Yes, ma'am.
and how point group is different from space group that I told in earlier class. Do you know, Rami, how point group is different from space group?
Ma'am, as per the little bit I know, point group is defined as the collection of symmetry elements, but instead the space group is defined as the arrangement of points or group of atoms.
Okay, okay. But actually, the difference between point group and space group is like in point group, we will tell about the symmetry elements as you are reading from lower classes also. Like in group theory, we are reading like point group, we are reading about the symmetry elements. But when we are adding the translation motion in this symmetry element, then it will become space group. Because you see, in screw axis, there will be translation motion that along the axis. Whenever we are talking about like screw axis, then it will come under that space group. As you know that mirror plane and glide plane, like mirror plane, when we are talking about reflection only, that stationary mirror plane. But whenever we are talking about glide plane is also a mirror plane, but it will show some translation motion. So glide plane we will consider in that of space group. Okay, so whenever we are considering translational motion in the point groups, then we will term it as a space groups. Okay.
Ma'am, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Ma'am, what is a single crystal and polycrystal, ma'am?
Actually, single crystal are having like there is whenever we are having a lattice, there is an array of atoms. If you will see, are you able to see this board? No, no. Is this board visible?
Yes, ma'am, visible, ma'am.
Okay. I will tell. There is no. There is no marker here. Okay, I will tell you like that only. From next class, I will take marker. So actually, in single crystal, we are having one domain. You see, if there are atoms which are arranged in this fashion, so all the atoms were arranged in this fashion, then we called it as like it is a single crystal. Like all the atoms are arranged in a linear fashion. But you see, if it is along the x-axis, but if some atoms are like along z-axis also or y-axis also, means there are some array of atom which will follow a different pattern. Then we are having two kind of domains, one along the x-axis, one along the y-axis. Then we will tell like this is the crystal having multiple domains. So this will be called as a polycrystalline system. So basically in PhD, means I am a PhD student, I am also synthesizing some complexes in which I used to record some crystal system. So for recording that crystal, like we should have single crystal, because if some crystal has a polycrystalline nature, then it is difficult to solve that crystal. So single crystal is having one domain only, but polycrystalline system is having two domains, like either along xy, yz, xz, or along the three axes. Means multiple domains it can be having. So that system is known as that uh, polycrystalline system. That Rami Reddy, what is your name? Is it Swapna or Rami Reddy?
Swapna, ma'am. Ram Reddy is my surname, ma'am.
Okay, sorry. Okay, Swapna, so I am sharing my screen. So from that you can see there is one difference between the polycrystalline and single crystal. By image you can see.
Okay, ma'am.
I'm not able to share the screen also. I think today some network issue is there. Can you sir you have laptop or some mobile?
Yeah, ma'am, I have PC.
Then you can search like polycrystalline crystal, and then you can go on images.
Okay, ma'am.
I'm not able to share the screen, otherwise I only will show.
Yes, ma'am, I had done it.
You can see like third image, third, fourth image. You can see just images. You see in crystalline, all the atoms are arranged in a linear fashion. But in polycrystalline, if you see all the atoms, there means in polycrystalline also some arrangement is there, but we can't tell that all the atoms are linear. Some atoms are following this trend, some atoms are following this trend,
Yes.
right? So in single crystal, we are having one domain in which only in one domain all the atoms are arranged. But in polycrystalline system, they are having multiple domains. Right, Swapna?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, we had told in the previous class that you will share the reference books that you are referencing now with us.
That I have to check. I will check today and I will tell in next class.
Okay, ma'am.
Hmm. Any other question you want to ask, Swapna? Or anyone else if someone want to ask?
Can you explain how X-rays are produced, ma'am?
How X-rays are produced?
Ma'am.
Actually, in X-ray, for the production of X-ray, we need an evacuated chamber. That chamber we called it as a cathode ray tube or that X-ray tube in which one source is there. So once the source is like one metal filament, mainly we are using tungsten filament. So that filament will be heated. So whenever that filament will be heated, that metal will go to the higher energy state and it will eject the electron. So whenever it will be ejecting the electron, that ejected electron will be having high speed, and that ejected electron will that strike at the detector. So whenever it is striking at the detector, so whenever it is striking at the detector, some electron will lose in the production of heat only, but whenever it is striking at the detector, it will produced in the form of X-rays. So this is the phenomena in which X-rays are produced, and these rays are very harmful for human body also, as the energy of these X-rays are very high, and it can penetrate in the human body. So like this, we are detecting the X-rays by like actually in this one filter is also required before hitting the detector. It will pass through a filter in which that monochromatic radiation will come, and that radiation which is having the sufficient energy, like which is satisfying the wavelength and energy, then we will term it as X-ray. But all the electrons which are going with high speed, it doesn't mean that all the electrons will produce X-rays, because some of the electrons will collide with walls of the tube, and someone will collide with themselves also, and they will lose the energy in the form of heat. So all the high speed electron will not lead to the production of X-rays. Only some of the electron will lead to the production of X-rays. As I told you in the earlier classes also, like in X-rays are the harmful radiations for the human body, and after X-rays, gamma rays are also the most harmful radiations for our human body, because the penetration rate of these rays are very high, so it can penetrate in the human body and it can harm to us actually. So like we should not expose to the X-rays and gamma rays. UV rays, as you all people know, UV rays are also very harmful, as we are getting from the sun also. Is it clear,
Okay,
Swapna?
ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Understood.
And other question? Any other doubt do you have? Swapna, any other doubt?
Ma'am, why we need to put only the copper as a target if we are using nickel as the filter, ma'am?
What you are
Why
saying?
if we are taking the filter as nickel, in X-rays production.
Haha, that when
Then why we need to
actually this is the
specifically put a copper
compatibility.
as
Whenever we are putting one source there, then we will heat the element. Then some some range will be there for the production of the text. Means some range, the radiations or the electrons which will produce, there is some range. So for that range, there are particular filters only. We can't put any filter at any place. So there are some range, there are some inbuilt character of metals that they have some characteristic property that they can filter that rays. According to me, that's why we are putting that filter. Like there is some combination of that source and filter, so that it will filter some particular ray to produce that monochromatic radiation.
white. What is white radiation, ma'am?
What is
White radiation.
white radiation?
Yes, ma'am.
White radiation is that combination of that all the colors, na? White radiation you are talking about. Accelerated electron with the atomic nuclei of the molecule to the collision of the accelerator. I think this is some different terminology. Not I am, but I am talking about this is some different. This comes in Bremsstrahlung, right?
Ma'am, in the videos they told us that white radiation and continuous spectrum are both same.
What they are telling, I did not listen.
White radiation can also be called as continuous spectrum.
Continuous spectrum. Actually, I am not sure about this white radiation. I will check and tell you.
Okay, ma'am.
You see, this board is visible, right? Means from
Yes, ma'am. It's visible, ma'am.
for my future classes, I can use this board.
Okay, ma'am.
You can read these letters also.
No, ma'am.
No, is this visible?
No, ma'am. It's
Okay.
somewhat blurry, ma'am.
Okay, maybe if I will use that black marker, then it will be visible.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so we will close the session here. Okay, from next class we will meet.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, bye bye.
Bye, ma'am.